Hey, it's Jer with a reminder that local content made locally needs both listener support and sponsorship to survive financially. We don't make stuff for the whole country. We make stuff for you, our neighbors. The economics of the internet are set up, though, to work against that. Social media sites want to promote the things with the biggest chance of the most audience possible. And stuff made for our neighbors, well, that's usually not it. Plus, more in-depth, multifaceted content requires the support of the community to survive. Now, I've gone a bit viral before, and pointing out the Hudson's Tower looks like a robot is fun and all. Do not get me wrong. But it's not the only work that needs to be done to build the connections and mutual understanding our region needs to succeed. So consider becoming a member at patreon.com/dailydetroit. That's patreon.com/dailydetroit. And if that's not a fit for you, totally cool, totally understand. Think about telling a friend about the Daily Detroit podcast. After all, word of mouth is the best way to push Detroit's conversation forward. Let's get started. Hey all, and welcome to Friday, and welcome to episode 1416 of Your Daily Detroit, sharing what to know and where to go in Southeast Michigan. Today, we're going to talk about finding success in Southwest Detroit. What are some of the top dishes you should try, and share some things about Cinco de Mayo that you might not have known. LaJalisciense chef Jose Vargas joins me to talk about it all. Plus, before we get started, and I learned this after we recorded, you're going to see another outpost of their popular restaurant coming to Telegraph near Wick Road in Taylor. Love to see expansion. All right, let's get into it. You know, friends, Cinco de Mayo is coming up upon us, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it, the history, why it's, its significance, what it means for different folks, and also get into a little bit of the food which we traditionally think about with this day. And to do that, joining me is Jose Vargas. He's the chef at LaJalisciense in Southwest Detroit. How are you, sir? Welcome to Daily Detroit.
Hi, I'm doing well.
Good. So Cinco de Mayo, you see ads and things for it and promotions and whatever, but there's some history to all of this, right, that I think we should unpack a little bit and what it is and what it means.
Of course. I feel like whenever there's a huge party, there has to be something behind it, and that's what happens with Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo has been a little misconcepted of what it truly is up to this date, but Cinco de Mayo has always mean for Mexico a battle that they won in Puebla. They won that battle against France, but in reality, later on, they lost that battle. So they've made this huge party over a small battle that was won, but long after they came back and destroyed them.
Yeah, and how do you feel about that?
Us as LaJalisciense, when it comes to Cinco de Mayo, we are trying to implement the 15th of September, which is when the independence of Mexico. So we've been trying to look for a way to actually gather people around Southwest Detroit and celebrate our actual independence instead of Cinco de Mayo.
Okay.
We haven't been able to find in a specific way to do it. That's what we're focusing on, at least as the culture. Last year, we were able to make an event celebrating Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. Just getting those little cultural special days for us. I feel like that's gonna help us eventually being able to celebrate the days that we celebrate in our culture.
So often I want to believe anyway that people are good and they want to know the actual story. It's just they were told something that they grew up with, or whatever they've heard over the years. And, I'm a little bit familiar with Day of the Dead, but for those who don't know, why don't we talk about Day of the Dead a little bit too, so that we can share that with some folks?
Yeah, Day of the Dead is a day where the family gathers around and they go to a cemetery and celebrate those that have passed. And we have a dinner with stuff that they loved. We make an altar with pictures and items that they like, such as whatever they enjoyed, whether it was a sport, something to drink, a beer, whatever it was. We gather around as a family and we celebrate that. We celebrate the family, which is one of the huge values that Mexico and Latin America has, the family.
Okay, okay. So will you be doing some things for Cinco de Mayo as well for guests? Like you're going to be kind of covering it all and then telling people about the other things, or
Yes, we are gonna join the party because it's something that happens automatically in the community.
Mhm.
Every year they have the parade. Well, after COVID, right?
Right, right,
But
right, right.
every year they have the parade, and the location where we're at, the parade ends a block away from us.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Vibes Detroit, which culture creators, they're gonna have an event, and we're gonna join them to celebrate everyone that's coming down to Detroit, everyone that's making the trip. We're gonna have a mechanic bowl.
Okay,
We're
fun.
we're gonna have live music. We're gonna have food, drinks in the parking lot by the time the parade ends.
Awesome. And so people know you're over on West Verner, like I want to say like a couple of blocks east of Clark Park, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Yeah, which is a really happening place. What have you been noticing over the years? Because your restaurant's been around for a while. I know that's been like tied to your family it's been something that's close to you for a while. What are some of the things that you've seen, and kind of in changes and improvements along West Verner?
There has been a lot of improvement have been done. The new apartment building that they're making right across the street from us is one of them. Clark Park was renovated, or I think still being renovated for the last 2 years, couple of years. The Central Station right around the corner from Werner.
It's really not far away. I mean, there's that freeway there, but literally, you just go straight down the road a few blocks. You're going right into the back of that thing.
Yes, it's less than a mile away
Okay.
from us. So there has been a humongous amount of support and resources to that area of Southwest.
That's awesome. Has it been helping business?
Yes, it has.
Good to hear. Good to hear. So, what are some of the things if you go ahead and you can go to their website, we will link to it in the show notes. But like over the years, what are some of the things that you have learned that have kind of helped set you all apart from some of the other places?
Generally, I think it's the values that we have as a family. The values that we want to run our place with, such as quality over quantity. The core values that we teach our employees about customer satisfaction and trying to have the best for our customers. I think that sets us apart from every other place, other than that we have a food and a market together. I feel like those core values that we try to show our customers every day when they walk in is really something that sets us apart.
Now, how does the restaurant and the market kind of work together? Because it's funny. I went to an opening recently of a place that did that, but that's something in Southwest Detroit. Like you already had that in the book a while ago. How do those two things work together?
The beauty of it is that we have a whole cycle. So I'm gonna say a taco. A taco, the meat comes to the meat department. We make the meat. We prepare the meat. We sell it raw, so you could come in and buy it raw, or you could buy it in a taco already made. So we have like a whole cycle between both of the items or both of the places, and I think that has really helped us a lot.
That's awesome. Now, you mentioned about the family. I know that you're all like a family business. How did this all come together? Tell me family stories on how this place came together, because I appreciate you, but I'm not sure you were the first. Just looking at you.
I'm the first child.
Oh, you're the first child.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're the
yeah.
first child, but like was it your father who started it, or was it who started it?
Yeah. So my dad started with LaJalisciense
Okay.
30 plus years ago. When he was 16, he bought his first grocery store. He was a teenager. Years after that, he got married with my mom, and we were born here in Detroit, Michigan, and we moved to Mexico. But we had to move here due to some issues that we had over there. So we moved here back in 2013, and he said, "Well, that's all I know how to do. That's the only option I have." So he purchased that building, 3923 West Vernon Highway, and ever since, we walked into the place, and we knew we had to do something to make that place look alive and give it that upright vibe that it has whenever you walk in there.
Now, you're a chef, so let's talk food. So what sells the best, and what is it that you wish more people would try?
So what sells the best is the taco dinner. It's 3 tacos, rice and beans. People love that. What I do wish we would sell more was the actual dishes. We have one that's bistec ranchero, and it's top sirloin strips. We sear them and we add a ranchero sauce on top. It comes with rice and beans and tortillas, but the sauce on top of that steak is amazing. It's amazing. It has a great flavor. It combines with the sautéed onions and everything that the sauce has.
That sounds awesome. You know what? Give me a couple more. I'm really interested because I want people to go and expand their wings a little bit with this stuff, right? Because I know most people go in there and they're like tacos, but if we can do something more. So I love that first recommendation. What else do you love?
So we have bistec ranchero. We have right now we actually have a special of carne en su jugo, which is sirloin steak, bacon bits, salsa verde. It has green onions and beans, and it all comes in a bowl, and you just dig in there. That one's also great. We also have the chile relleno. I think it's another one that's great. It's a chile poblano that's filled with cheese, and it also comes with the salsa ranchera.
Okay. Awesome. What's something that you've learned working on the business and working in the kitchen over the last few years that you didn't think you knew about the industry? What's something that you've learned in the last few years?
How hard it is to work as a family.
Okay. So I resonate with this because when I was younger, my uncle owned a window washing business, and there was no like sitting around. There was no like, I don't have a job. You don't have a job. You go work for uncle, and you go wash some windows and you clean some gutters. So this resonates with me because I can think of like, him yelling at my uncle Tim, being like, get the corners, Tim, get the corners. And like, they would just bicker back and forth, but they loved each other so much, like Eastern European Slovak family. So navigating a family business is unique.
It is. It's amazing, right? Because you all connect and you all connect your ideas and try to come up with something. But at the same time, it's really complicated because you have, in our case, or we have 5 different people trying to connect an idea, and it gets a little complicated, but it's lovely. It's lovely.
I'll never forget my Uncle Mark being like, I love you, but you're acting stupid. Get in the truck.
Yeah, that it can get a little tough sometimes, but man, I wouldn't change that for anything. And that's why we try to make more celebrations, right? Like Cinco de Mayo. Hopefully in the future we'll do the Dia de los Muertos and celebrate Independence Day. And to celebrate those times or that hard work that we've done, we want people to join us and we want people to come down to Southwest Detroit and enjoy the time that we're there.
And I really want more people to look at that because, if you look at Detroit over the years, for a long time, it was the Mexican and the Hispanic population that was that was the only population group that was growing in the city for a real long time and making so many investments. If you drive through Southwest Detroit, you can see the difference of people and families working together and raising up houses and all this stuff, right? And I just love that hardworking spirit about it, and I have so much respect for it.
I feel like that's something we have in our culture. We see something that's not right, we try to fix it. I feel like that's what really makes us unique.
Yeah. I also know, at least from my family, with that attitude, although we're not, obviously not Hispanic, but Eastern European, but that it's also very, very tiring. Like at the end of the day, it's a whole special kind of tired when you're that invested in everything, that it's a whole nother level. So
definitely. I mean, getting home after a 12-hour shift and knowing that you did so much progress in one day and in those 12 hours and waking up the next day and having to do it again, but it's going to be worth it one day whenever you're able to look at that progress that you've made and you look back and you're like, wow, it looks amazing.
Yeah. All right. What do people need to know about your spot so that they can go and check all this stuff out?
Well, you guys need to come try our food. And we do have a special right now, which is carne en su jugo, and you could also take it raw. So you have both options. You either cook it at home or you can come and enjoy it there with our service.
And see, that's something that I need to do, and I have been remiss. I need to stop by the market because I do like to cook. So I need to stop by the market and pick up some stuff, without a doubt.
Definitely.
Tell me the hours of everything.
We're open from 9 to 9, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. till 9 p.m., Saturday and Sundays.
And so that's another thing. Like if you're like a listener in the city and you're like, hey, things kind of close early, whatever. That's not the case in some areas of town. And so if you need to go do that, you can do that after work or all that other stuff. And I think it's so close. Like if you're listening to this and you're downtown or Lafayette Park, or like I'm in the north, it's so easy to hop and skip over to West Verner and stop by your spot.
Definitely. I mean, there's a I-75 exit 5 blocks away from us, so.
Yeah, and that goes for you listening in the suburbs as well. It's easy to get to. Chef Jose, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you.
Thank you for your time today. We appreciate that a lot.
And we are done for the day and the week. Thank you so much for listening, and thanks so much to our team of contributors that makes this happen. Feedback, send me a note, dailydetroit@gmail.com. That's dailydetroit@gmail.com, or 313-789-3211. With that, I am Jer Stays. Remember that you are somebody, and we'll talk next week.